Welcome to the 47th tutorial in Python. In this video, we'll be going back to the early days of computing and see how Python looks at your text and how you can control it. Let me take you back to the early days of computing, when computers were just getting good at talking to each other. But there was one problem. How do you tell one computer that you typed the letter A? That's where ASCII was born. It stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Basically, they made a list, an official list saying, okay, the number 65 means A, 66 means B, 67 means C, and so on. This is exactly what we are going to do in Python. So, A, we want to find out the ordinate of A. Ord is basically, it converts the A into its ASCII value. So when we print ord A, it gives us 65. And CHR65 gives us the text value of 65. So when we run this code, it gives us 65 and A. This simple idea allowed machines to encode letters as numbers and send them through wires and decode them on the other side. Genius, right? But here's the catch. ASCII only knew about 128 characters. That's enough for English numbers and a few symbols. But what about the rest of the world? That's when Unicode arrived. Imagine ASCII as a small neighborhood, only filled with English characters. But Unicode is a global city. It has spaces for characters in Chinese, Arabic, Hindi, emojis, and even ancient scripts. So let's say we want to find the ordinate of the euro symbol, and we want to find whatever this number is, and we want to print its text form. So when we run this code, we get 8364. But this is even more shocking. It's an emoji. Every single emoji has its own Unicode value. Unicode made it possible to send text in any language between any two devices without turning the data into gibberish. And the best part, Python understands both. With just two functions, odd and chr, you can jump between the letter world and the number world like a pro. So, how does Python convert characters to numbers? Odd stands for ordinal. It gives you the Unicode code point, and it's also ASCII compatible for basic characters such as A, B, C, D, and all the other English characters. And it's simple and especially useful in sorting, encryption, and comparing letters. You'll often use odd in things like Caesar ciphers or checking if a letter is an uppercase. So the ASCII value or the Unicode value of A, capital A that is 65. The value of A, which is lowercase, is 97. And the value of an exclamation mark is 33. So when you run all of this, Python gives us the exact ASCII value. And to go in reverse from a number back into a character, we use CHR. So print CHR65, of course, gives us A, capital A. E364, as you saw before, gives us the euro symbol. And 128512 gives us the smiley face emoji. The CHR returns the character from its Unicode point. And you can print emojis or a special currency symbol with the right code. You know what? Let's modify this a bit. Let's put 3. Let's see what this gives us. This gave us this emoji. What if we print 10? Let's see what emoji this will give us. This gave us whatever emoji this is. So every single emoji you see, every single letter, every single number, every single symbol you see on your phone keypad, on your laptop, keyboard, anything, are all just these values, these certain sets of numbers which comprise to make all of this. This is super handy when you're generating custom keys, visualizing Unicode art, or building character-based logic. Now, let's encode a string. When you store or transmit text, it needs to be encoded. Encoded means it has to be turned into bytes so that the computer can understand. This is where we use the encode method and the decode method. We have a text called hello with an emoji after it. We want to send this to someone, but before we send it to someone, the computer has to understand it first. So we'll encode it, and encoded is equal to text.encode UTF-8. Now, what is UTF-8? The dot encode turns a string into bytes using a chosen encoding. UTF-8 Unicode transformation format is the default and is a default thing for all code, and it supports all of Unicode. UTF-8 uses variable length. This means that the length of a single character might depend based on the language or emoji or a specific symbol. And when you print the encoded version, you see something like this. Of course, you can't really understand it much, but this is how we encode a file. Now, let's say you want to decode it. Decoded is equal to encoded.decode UTF-8. So we once again put in the encoder, and when we print it, it's exactly like a round trip. Strings to bytes and bytes to strings. Let's say you want to allow only ASCII usernames in your app. Let's have you let's have an input about entering a username, and username would encode ASCII. So we set the encoder as ASCII, and then we print valid username. Now, if there was an error over here, the error is known as a Unicode encode error. Like if a user typed Unicode values, then we're going to tell them, please use ASCII characters only. And as you saw before, the try and accept the exceptions, it'll just make it crash safe and user friendly. So when we run this code, let's type Sairam, and it gives us a valid username. But if you were to type an emoji, it would give us, please use ASCII characters only. This is basic but powerful. Check when you're dealing with all old systems or legacy databases. As you can see, the ASCII system does not even support emojis. If you learned something new in this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button for more programming tutorials.